Now's the time to be part of the team at Team Toyota. Step up to the plate with a winning lineup of new Toyota models like the new 4Runner, Grand Highlander, and coming soon, the all-new 2026 RAV4. Or find something perfect for your game plan and your budget with over 300 certified used Toyotas available. And don't sweat a trip to the IL. Our service and collision centers will have you back in the game in no time. So slide in one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, or Glen Mills, or take a swing online at teamtoyota.net. That's it. That's all. It's over, Sean Kane. Game 162 in the books. A 162-game season in the books, and what a remarkable season for your 2025 Philadelphia Phillies. Welcome in to Phillies Talk, presented by Team Toyota. I am Spencer McKercher, co-host of the podcast, digital video producer. And dude, by the way, it's funny, I realized the last 2 podcasts, I called you the host of Phillies pre and post.
I noticed that the last time. You were in a groove. I didn't want to stop you, but I produced the programs.
That is the producer.
Yes.
Sean Kane.
Right. Co-host of the podcast. So, I follow your lead, but yes, I'm not the host of the pre and post game shows.
Yes.
I'm working on nudging Barcan out soon enough, and I'll just take over myself. So that day's coming.
Honestly, we should just roll the pod. That's the pre and post game shows. I mean,
right.
That's what the people want. You got to give them what the people want. But
exactly.
Welcome in. I said it. I mean, what a remarkable season for the Phillies, and they wrap up in exciting fashion with a Nick Castellanos walk-off sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 10th inning to get their 35th series win, which is a new franchise record.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to take it from there, buddy, it's just we await Red October, but it's a hell of a 2025 season.
Yeah. 35 series wins, you mentioned. 96 wins, one more win than last year. And 6th most in franchise history, the old 143-year franchise history. There's only been 5 teams that have won more games. So that's saying something. 55 home wins, CBP record. Never have they won 55 games, regular season games at CBP. So quite the list of accomplishments. NL East champs. And here we go, number 2 seed. Locked and loaded. We know who we're going to get now, whether the Dodgers or the Reds, which I'm sure we'll get into. But just looking at this regular season, really impressive. And they overcome quite a bit. They overcame quite a bit. Injuries to key players, Trea Turner, Bryce Harper, Zach Wheeler, obviously, Ranger Suarez, all guys that spent time on the IL. Aaron Nola spent half the season on the IL. So just really overcame a lot. Pretty consistent. Rob Thompson talked about that pregame today. He was asked what stood out about the regular season. He said, I think the consistency. We had a little lull in July, but previous years we were really up and down, started fast when kind of ended slow. But this year, and he's right, every month, if you break it down month by month, they played good baseball, and some months were a little better than others, but there wasn't that awful month. They kind of put it together consistently, and that's what happens when good teams play above 500 every month. They end up winning 96 games in a division championship.
You said it, and it's overcoming all the injuries that they really went through. And obviously with baseball, we know it's a up and down season. You ride the roller coaster the entire really 6 months here. Over the last 6 months, it's just been a roller coaster with this team. But one thing is for sure, and they won. And that is the biggest and most consistent thing that this team did, this version of this Phillies team did. Obviously, the additions of Duran and Bader have been huge, and just guys stepping up. And I think the whole win it for wheels thing, arguably the best pitcher in baseball, goes down. And I'm glad he's doing hopefully better and feeling healthy. We're talking about Zach, but yeah, just to overcome that. And Cristopher Sánchez goes out there on Sunday and gets the standing ovation. I thought that was really cool. Moment for Sanchi that Rob Thompson goes and pulls him after just 60 pitches, 5 2/3, 8 strikeouts, scoreless, and only allowed 2 hits over those 5 2/3 innings. And he leaves to a standing ovation after a remarkable start on Sunday against the Twins, but also a remarkable 2025 season when this team needed the most. And Cristopher Sánchez stepped up.
Yeah, I mean, short list of the best pitchers in baseball. He's finished the year with a 2.50 ERA, career highs in starts, innings pitched, wins, ERA, and strikeouts. So across the board, just a career year. And you said it, really has stepped up even more so now with Zach Wheeler out. He's become the ace, the unquestioned ace. And he's really embraced that role. And they're rolling with him. Game one of the NLDS, he may pitch twice in the NLDS, and they're going to ride him, man, for the next month. And I think he's up to the challenge. And I thought, Sunday was unbelievable. Like 21 strikes to start the
Yeah,
game.
to start the
21
game.
strikes. Like I've never seen that before. Like Ricky Batalico and I were going back and forth. Like, is that a record? Do you think that could be a record? Who
Yeah,
knows? But it turns out, a few years ago, there was a guy. Who was it? You
George
mentioned
Kirby.
George Kirby.
George
That I think he
Kirby.
had
Yep,
24.
2022. Yep,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
2022.
So
Yep,
which is crazy, but just set the tone and then was just solid all day against the Twins. He overmatched the Twins.
yeah,
And I thought it was really cool what Rob Thompson did, because I was surprised to see him go back out there for the sixth, because Rob Thompson had said probably 5 innings, didn't
yep.
have a lot of pitches. I figured they were monitoring the up downs. They didn't want him to get back up for the sixth inning. And he was out there. I was like, oh, I guess they're giving him six, but he just did that to give him the standing ovation walking off the field, which I thought was a great touch by Rob Thompson. The fans were great. And he deserved it, man, because that's one of
Mhm.
the best seasons a Phillies starting pitcher has put together in this era of the last 25 years or so. I mean, obviously they had some
100%.
great seasons, and it's every bit the Cy Young caliber season. I think Skeens will win it, but another year maybe he wins the Cy Young. He was just so consistent, so good all year, and it was really cool to watch him finish on that note today.
It was, and now they're going to need him in Game 1 of the NLDS in 6 short days from now. As we sit down to record this on Sunday, you guys will get this Monday, gearing up for the NLDS and an important week for the Phillies, which we'll get to as well. But yeah, I think him going into Game 1 of the NLDS is so special because of just his story too, right? He gets traded from the Rays for Curtis Mead a few years ago, and really just to see his development. And Rob Thompson has alluded to it a bunch, just his development over the last few seasons, whether it's he's put a lot of muscle on. He's also just kind of taken this whole number one starter approach and ran with it. And the confidence level that you see out of Cristopher Sánchez is something that you want to see in an ace. And I would argue that, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fun battle between him and Skeens. I have some of the starts, but now the Phillies are 23-9 and all the starts now. And Cristopher Sánchez, they went 23-9. Obviously, he didn't get the win on Sunday night here or Sunday afternoon, but the Phillies still 23-9 in those 32 starts for Cristopher Sánchez this season. I don't know, man. If I had a vote, that would be my guy. And I know it's subjective right now, but that would be my vote to win the Cy Young. You look at some of the numbers, the Phillies put this out in their notes. He has 15 more innings, almost 15 more innings than Skeens. His WAR is a half a point higher. He has 22 quality starts. The Skeens is 19. He went 13-5 compared to Skeens 10-10. Home runs per 9, Skeens at 0.54 to Sánchez 0.55. 6 inning starts 24-20, Sánchez in the advantage. 7 inning starts 13-6 advantage. His ERA 2.57 to Skeens is 2.03. Skeens finished with, or no, I guess Sánchez has more now because this was before his last start. So Sánchez finishes with 212 strikeouts. The Skeens is 209. And Skeens had 42 walks compared to Sánchez 44 walks. So it's pretty balanced. But again, my vote would go to Cristopher Sánchez for the Cy Young.
Yeah, I think the Phillies put those out in the game notes a few days ago, and I think
Yes.
Skeens had a start too.
Okay.
And I think he pitched pretty well. I don't know what his final numbers are. I think his ERA might have went down a little bit. Who knows? But yeah, I saw the same thing you did. I would vote for Skeens. Like, I get it. Sanchez is worthy. I don't think it's out of the question. Great season, and when Wheeler got last year, I would have voted for Wheeler. I thought he should have won over Chris Sale. I thought Wheeler should have won in 21 over Corbin Burns. This year, I just think Skeens was so good, and I don't think you can fault him for, obviously, his team is what his team is. He's got to pitch for who he's got to pitch for. But all that said, again, I vote Skeens. I think a half run in the ERA is a big deal. I think the whip is significantly lower, and whatever. Again, the wins, you can't control that, and the innings pitched and strikeouts, I think, are kind of on par. But I just think there is something to be said, though. All that being said, that Sanchez pitching in a pennant race, in trying to win the division, trying to clinch the division, like the Pirates have been out of it since May. And like Paul Skeens goes out there and there's really no pressure on him in terms of his team. Now everybody expects him to pitch well, but I think there is something to be said for, having to go out there every fifth day and
Mhm.
your team's really relying on you to win a division, secure a playoff spot, try to get that bye to the NLDS, which the Phillies were trying to accomplish all those things. So I do get that. I do think there's bonus points awarded for a pitcher that's pitching for a winning club, a club that's trying to accomplish things, as opposed to the Pirates, who are their season was over a long time ago. So I get that. I would vote for Skeens. I think he was a little bit better this year, but Cy Young caliber season for Sanchez, no doubt.
I'm with you. And even just to piggyback, like we said, yeah, Sanchez is pitching all these important games, but stepping up in the absence of Zach Wheeler too, I think should go a long way. It's a fun little debate. I would give it to Sanchez. I know we differ there, but again, it's a little objective.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is crazy too if Paul Skeens gets it in his second career or second year in the big leagues, and he's going to have a Cy Young and a pair
Yeah.
of All-Star game starts. It's kind of ridiculous and goes to show what kind of pitcher Paul Skeens is. It doesn't help that the Pirates kind of stink, but
Yeah.
still,
And
it's a fun battle.
yeah, and it'd be nice if Skeens could finally catch a break. Like,
Right.
he
Right.
just doesn't do well with the ladies, and now
Right.
he's going to sign like a $500 million contract in a few years. So I'm
Yep.
glad something's working out for Paul finally. He really labored in the minor leagues for a long time. It was a really uphill battle, Cinderella story. So good for Paul. I'm glad it's working out for him.
Yeah, good for Paul, I guess. Yeah, and
Yeah,
some guys just get it, man.
yeah,
And Cristopher Sánchez also got it this year, and
yes. All
we're
seriousness, he
really
was great. Yep.
it was an incredible season for Cristopher Sánchez. Let's transition real quick. Trea Turner, he wins the National League batting title, first Philly since Richie Ashburn, which is I feel like maybe I could be wrong, but I feel like in the years past, even when I was growing up, early 2000s, I feel like when you won the batting title, it was kind of a big deal. I feel like this has kind of been swept under the rug a little bit. Like Trea Turner batted 304 and led all of the National League in batting average. And he mentioned after the game, he said it's really rewarding. And I think it goes to show just you need consistent hitters on this team. And Trea's third year for him to win a batting title, I still think he should maybe get an MVP vote or two. I don't think he's going to finish in the top 3. He might not even finish in the top 5, but I think Trea Turner should get some MVP votes for the season that he had. And it's wrapped up with the first batting title for the Phillies since Richie Ashburn.
Yeah, no, the batting title, I'm with you. Like, obviously, I grew up a little before you. Like, watching like Tony Gwynn collect batting titles and like guys like that, it was just like
It's
that was a huge deal. The batting
yeah,
champion, and obviously, batting average has been diminished. I think for worse. Like, I get it. Like, on base percentage is taking on a bigger role, and batting average isn't important. But to me, batting average is still a big deal. Like,
yeah,
walks are important, but obviously, if you're getting hits, you're doing more with those hits than walks. You know what I mean? Like that you put the ball in play, or you can advance runners further. You can get a double. You can kind of take more than one base. So I think a hit is still better than a walk. But yeah, batting title is a big deal. And Trea Turner's, I didn't see what Nico Horner finished today, but I'm pretty sure Trea was the only player in the National League over 300. So
correct.
like in this era of batting averages plummeting, to be over 300 and to have as many at bats, even with the IL stint, his at bats throughout the season, he was at the top of the order every game. Just a really cool accomplishment for him. And I know he was kind of frustrated the first couple years, at least parts of the first few years in Philadelphia. But this year, I thought offensively, he was really consistent. And Rob Thompson had that talk with him, which we've discussed on this podcast. Don't worry about the home runs. We want you getting on base, setting the table,
Correct.
scoring runs, stealing bases. And he did. He stole 36 bags. He would have had more than 100 runs easily if he didn't spend the last 3 weeks on the IL. So just a really successful, and you said a rewarding season for him. And it was good to see him back out there, 0 for 2, couple ground outs, but just to get him back. And now he'll have that scrimmage on Wednesday, that exhibition, the inter squad game, give him some more at bats. So hopefully he's got what he needs when it starts counting for real next Saturday.
It was good to see him play. We were kind of debating if we were going to see Trea Turner this weekend, and the Phillies activate him on Sunday before the final game of the season. And, Rob pulls him after the 5th. Fine. He secured the batting title just by kind of going out there. And yeah, he finished 5th in all of Major League Baseball. I mean, dude, freaking Aaron Judge is 331 right now. Bo Bichette at 311. Jacob Wilson, the rookie for the A's, he finishes at 311. Springer at 304, and then or at 309, excuse me, and then Trea at 304 wraps up 5th in all of baseball. But everything that he's kind of been through too, with the standing ovation and really struggling in that first year 2 years ago. Now to just kind of sum it up and wrap it up, and we've mentioned it before though, but him consistently getting hits and being the Trea Turner that we've got accustomed to over the last, I don't know, what, 10 years, basically his entire big league career. But to see it at the plate and then on the field as well with his defense, which has improved mightily, it just goes to show how hard he's worked and kind of finally settled into this groove as a Philadelphia Philly.
Yeah, oh, no doubt. Yeah, the defense is a great point because that's been an issue too, and he really worked on it, continues to work on it, and he was good. He was solid. He had a few missteps, but you play shortstop, nobody's going to be perfect, and I just thought he was really good, really solid. We were all holding our breath when he first hurt the hamstring, and he's back in 3 weeks, and he seems to be moving well, and he'll probably be moving even better on Saturday. So they're certainly going to need him healthy, productive. I thought Bader did a great job, obviously, and Sosa, obviously, before he got hurt, and then when he came back playing shortstop, filled in for him well. Stott was great at shortstop defensively, so they really did well without him. I mean, at one point, I think without him, he missed 18 games. I want to say they were like 12-6 without him.
Yeah.
I just thought, and then Bader proving that he can hit at the top of the order, and that's going to make that lineup even better now when Bader slides back down into what I think will be the 6th hole for the postseason. So good to have him back. Nice to see other guys step up in his absence. But yeah, batting titles, that's something I think that's a really big deal. And you're right, it kind of goes under the radar these days, and it's a second career batting title. So you win more than one batting title in your career now for 2 different teams. Like, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And I think, he needs to be recognized as one of the better hitters in all of baseball. And to have, like I said, to have a year like that, it's pretty impressive. And hopefully over the next week or so, Trea gets some love nationally as like you said, collecting his second batting title in his career. Really, the other big storyline since the last time we talked was Kyle Schwarber trying to catch Ryan Howard. He does not catch him, unfortunately. He finished with 56 home runs. That we were saying how cool it would have been. He comes to the plate in the 9th inning on Sunday, and a 1-1 game. He's the leadoff batter in the 9th inning, and he ends up, I believe, he walked. But just kind of a shame for Kyle, but still, again, and we said our praises for him in the last podcast on Saturday, but just a remarkable season regardless. But your thoughts on just kind of him coming up just short on 2 home runs shy of tying Ryan Howard's record?
Yeah, no, I think it speaks to the season he had that we all just kind of expected him. Like, oh yeah, he'll hit a couple this weekend. No big deal. He always does. And it's tough to hit home runs. Like, to hit 56 home runs is crazy. And he went on that run earlier in the homestand against the Marlins. I was like, he's going to do it. He got to 56 with that whole Minnesota series still ahead. I thought he would hit a couple, but it's tough. And obviously, I think you could tell on Sunday he was thinking about it. He was taking some particularly big hacks, which is cool. Like, that's what he was trying to do. I'm sure he would have been taken out of the game with everybody else after a couple at bats and let somebody else get in there. And it was also cool to see him 162 games, because it's a guy that has dealt with some injuries over his career. Obviously, he was super young in Chicago, and he hurt his leg. He was out for the majority of the season, and he's had some other issues. Last year he was on the IL, I believe, with a groin issue with the Phillies. He's had some leg issues in the past, but he's really gotten himself into good shape. He's moving better, and you could tell not obviously didn't play the field a whole lot, but he gets around the bases better. And just to be able to be in that lineup 162 times is a big deal to these guys. And even as a DH, I think it's really something to celebrate that he did it. What a season. Bummed. I think everybody was bummed he didn't at least tie to get to 58, 59. But, I think he's going to be the runner-up for the MVP in the National League behind a guy who's unlike anything we've ever seen in baseball before. And you just gotta to take an MVP from that guy. I don't know what you have to do when he's pitching well and hitting like he is. I think he hit his 55th home run on Sunday. His ERA is now under 3 on the season. Like, what do you? It's a shame for Kyle Schwarber that guy's going to win MVP pretty much every year. But just a great year, man. And it was disappointing, but what a year, what a regular season, and he's been known to produce in the postseason. So I think big things are coming up for him.
I hope so. And Kyle Schwarber does that. He comes through in these big time moments, and I expect some massive Schwarber bombs come Red October. He does finish with 132 RBIs on the season, which led all of baseball as well. I mean, like you said, as soon as Shohei signed with the Dodgers, it did kind of eliminate any chance on any of these guys, in my opinion. Not, who knows? But in my opinion, as soon as he signed, it was like, oh, well, there goes a chance on, winning an MVP for any of these guys, because it's going to be hard not to. But, and it's a fun little debate too, because in the American League, you have Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge. And I saw something along the lines of comparing that MVP race between Judge and Raleigh, comparing it to Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson last season in the NFL, where Lamar had all the stats, but Josh was more important to that Bills team and really getting to where they need to be. It's the same thing with Riley and Judge, but I mean, you could argue that it's the same in the National League too. I mean, I think Kyle Schwarber is a more valuable player to the Phillies than Shohei Ohtani was to the Dodgers this season.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're both super valuable. It's just tough, especially when Otani started pitching and pitching well. That just added a whole nother layer to it, like the second half of the season or whatever. But yeah, no, they're both phenomenal, both MVP worthy seasons. And not to get too far off on the AL side of things, because we're a Phillies Talk podcast, but I would vote for Raleigh. I think Cal Raleigh to me, like Judge, of course, his numbers are absurd. Like what a season. But like Cal Raleigh hit 60 homers as a switch hitting catcher for a team that won their division, like handling that pitching staff. Like we think about JT, like the job he does with the pitchers and the credit he gets for the pitchers, and then oh yeah, he's one of the best offensive catchers in baseball. Well, this guy hit 60 home runs. It's just like it's crazy. I just don't see how he's not the MVP. Again, Judge, awesome. I get it, but that would be my vote, Raleigh.
Yeah, I'm with you. And he finished with 125 RBIs. Riley did, which is third in all of baseball behind Alonso and Schwarber. Yeah, man, I don't know. I would give it to Riley because, I mean, the Mariners won their first division since 2001. Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think they get there without him. So, and again, that's where it comes down to. And that it is a tough debate because when you look at Schwarber, it's like, well, was Kyle the main reason the Phillies won their second National League East title? No. Or back-to-back? No. Yeah. But it's a huge part of it. But with Riley, he carried that team all season. So, we shall see. But coming up on the other side, we will discuss the NLDS potential matchups between the Reds and the Dodgers. But first, our favorite segment. Here's Rube. Here's Ruben Amaro Jr. and Tom McCarthy.
Hey, T-Mac, another great day, best fans, the best city. How lucky are we?
It doesn't get much better than this. But I got to tell you, our guy missed a lot of the game last night. I think he missed almost a full inning going to the bathroom.
Yeah, I noticed. I mean, he said he kept feeling like he had to go, and then nothing would come out.
I think he went back 3 times before the 7th inning. Now, that's more than just having too many beer baths.
Nope, it sounds like BPH. It's more common than you think.
Well, it's time to stop holding it about prostate health. Good thing we've got our friends at Temple Health who are way smarter about these things than we are. Let's let the doc explain. So, Doc, what's going on with our guy?
Sounds to me like he's got this problem called BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. It really means that guys just have trouble peeing.
But there's a solution to it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. At Temple Health, there are doctors that really specialize in BPH. Aquablation is one of those things that we offer that many people don't, and other things like prostate enucleation as well. Both of them are minimally invasive that really help guys.
And for most patients, they come out of it feeling fine.
Yeah, I think most patients have a really simple recovery that's straightforward.
Well, that's a big win, because it's better than going to the bathroom a dozen times during a ball game.
Oh, absolutely. These results for guys are long-lasting. Let's face it, prostate health shouldn't be keeping guys out of the game.
Hey, I ran into our guy again. No more backroom sprints. He's back in the game.
He told me it was like the most relief he's had in years, in more ways than one. I mean, he even stayed for extra innings.
Aquablation therapy at Temple Health. Get back in the game. Visit templehealth.org.
Thanks, guys. Another great commercial. I mean, it's one of the better commercials too. Ruben and Tom, their acting skills are incredible. And shout out to Temple Health and for the sponsorship here on the Phillies Talk podcast. But welcome back, as mentioned before, to the break. It's time, dude. We're here. Red October is here. I can't believe this season's over. It flew by, man. I feel like it was just opening day in Washington when the Shadows were dealing with everybody, and God, the pitcher's name just completely left my mind. The National starter,
Simeon Woods Richardson.
No, excuse me, for the Nationals on opening day.
Mackenzie Gore. Mackenzie Gore. Yes. Day one, Mackenzie Gore Shadows. 162, Simeon Woods Richardson Shadows. So Shadows were full circle.
It really was
1 to 162. Really yeah,
but I can't believe it's over, man. And now it's time for some fun. We'll start with this. We won't see the New York Mets.
No, crazy, man.
In the Major League Baseball playoffs after having the best record in all of baseball for the first 2 months of the season and just full collapse. I saw this Jason Stark tweet that I wanted to pull up. Kind of nuts. So since June 12th, the Mets were 21 games over at that time with the best record in baseball on June 12th. Since June 12th, they went 38-55. It's the only National League teams with more losses since that day are the Rockies with 64 and the Nationals with 58.
That's crazy. That's unbelievable. I mean, yeah, I guess we saw it up close with the division race, how it just got away from the Mets so quickly after that series up
Insane.
at Citi Field. But actually, I was pretty confident they were still going to be a wild card team. I mean, for so long this season, like so I thought the 6 playoff teams were set and dry. Like it was going to be the 2 teams in the NL East. It was going to
Mhm.
be the 2 teams from the the NL West. Pardon me, the Dodgers
Yep.
obviously and the Padres looked like they were going to be in some order, and then it was going to be the Brewers and the Cubs, and it was just going to
Yep.
be just a matter of what the order going to be, who's going to win the divisions, who's going to be the wild card. But like those 6 were so like defined for most of the season. They had such a healthy gap between the other wild card contenders, and then the Mets just free fall, and Terry Francona finds his way into the postseason again. But yeah, the Mets, it's classic today too. Like the Brewers beat the Reds, like all right, and then they can't beat the Marlins, and
They
then
get
they
shut out by the Marlins.
yeah. So
Oh.
it's obviously we enjoy it, and the Mets fans got a few laughs at our expense, up at Citi Field at the end of August.
Mhm.
So their season's over, which is crazy. That's a big payroll to be missing out on the playoffs, especially now when there's so many. It's 3 wild card teams. You got 12 out of 30 teams make the postseason, and they're not one of
Mhm.
them. That's bad. And they were in the NLCS last year, and they added Juan Soto, who had a great year, and they still don't make the postseason. It's wild.
It is crazy, man. I can't believe we're sitting here not talking about worrying about the Mets and the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's crazy and how fast it changed. It's really unimaginable is the word that I tried to think of here. But so yeah, no Mets. The Reds are in. They will play the Dodgers this
Yep.
week, starting on Tuesday at 9 o'clock on ESPN on Tuesday night. That's obviously a best of or 2 out of 3, best of 3 series. So we could find out by Wednesday who the Phillies are playing by, well, I guess like early morning hours of Thursday morning, since that's like a 9:38 start, I believe, on Wednesday.
On Wednesday too. Okay.
So
Yeah.
so the Dodgers are Reds, buddy. Exciting, fun. I mean, the way everything kind of what pans out is the word, or I guess whatever. I just lost my train of thought. But the Brewers will face the winner of the Cubs and Padres as well.
Yeah.
But the Phillies are focused on that 2 seed, and they will play the winner of the Dodgers or Reds. I think we both agree it will most likely be the Dodgers. But what are you looking forward to in that series the most?
Yeah, you would think, obviously the Dodgers are the team that everybody expects, the defending world champs. They're going to have home field for all 3 games. But in these short series, anything is possible. Like you get a pitcher, the Red starter steals a game, and then it's, you got then the Dodgers' backs are against the wall. The Reds obviously are in the postseason for a reason. And we talked a lot about the Reds. The Phillies were out there in Cincinnati a couple months ago, and they got some good starting pitchers, some guys that can come up with some clutch hits. And obviously they're outmanned, I think, on paper by the Dodgers, and just the Dodgers having home field, and the Dodgers are going to have some combination of Ohtani and Blake Snell and Yamamoto and whoever else they want to throw at you. My guy Emmett Sheehan, who I think is pitched
Terrifying.
really well. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they have the guys at the top of the order in Ohtani and Betts and Freeman and Teoscar, and when Mac Muncy is healthy, and Will Smith. So these guys have pedigrees of performing in October, and I think they're going to win the series, but nothing shocks me in a wild card series. And say the Reds do win, they're going to go out there and take a series from the Dodgers. So they're coming to CBP with all kinds of confidence on a roll. So whoever the Phillies get, they're going to have their hands full. I think it's going to be the Dodgers, but I wouldn't count the Reds out.
I would not either, because we saw what that starting rotation did when the Phillies went up there to Cincinnati last month. And I was like, I guess it was August, right? When they went up there, I believe.
Yeah.
We saw what that starting pitching rotation could do with Hunter Green, Lytle, and Andrew Abbott. I mean, those guys can shove. And really, like you said, this wild card series really comes down to starting pitching, because it's a very quick series. You win 2 games, you're on to the NLDS. It's exciting. It's fun. I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's going to be a fun matchup. The Cubs-Padres matchup going to be really, really fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a shame that one of those 2 teams are going to be out of the playoffs before even getting to the NLDS. But that being said, it's kind of crazy to think about the Dodgers coming to CBP for game 1 of the NLDS. I feel like ever since that 2022 run, the Phillies have kind of avoided the Dodgers in a good way, not facing them at all in these playoffs. And in reality, I would argue that it's the 2 best rosters in all of baseball between the Dodgers and the Phillies, and they have yet to face off with each other since 2008, I guess.
2009 NLCS.
2009 in the NLCS. Yeah.
08, 09, they played NLCS 2 straight years. Yep.
So they haven't faced the Dodgers in almost 15, 16 years in the playoffs, which is crazy because, like I said, they're just 2 storied franchises. And the fact that we could get that in the NLDS between the Phillies and Dodgers. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani versus Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, and Cristopher Sánchez you could throw in there. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun if that's the case.
A lot of fun. Yeah, I think you're right. The two most well-rounded rosters in the National League for sure. And yeah, the postseason rivalry, like going back to the late '70s, they had some NLCS meetings. There were, the Black Friday game at the Vet, which people around here hate to talk about. That was a bad memory. But then the Phillies, years later, get their revenge and knock them off in the NLCS in '08 and '09. The Matt Stairs pinch hit home run. Hamels was the MVP in '08, and in '09, Jimmy had the walk-off hit. So there's kind of a lot of cool moments from that postseason rivalry going back like 50 years now. But it's been a while, like you said, and it'll be great. It'll be really cool if that ends up being the matchup. I think TV is hoping for that matchup. Two big markets in that series. I think there'll be primetime games, obviously, and it'll be fun. And the Phillies match up well with them. The Phillies have had success against them the last handful of years. Like they've won two series this year. They won 2 series last year. They're not intimidated by them, certainly. The Dodgers, obviously, their roster is so deep that they can kind of mix and match with the matchups in a playoff series, but the Phillies can do a little bit of that too. So I think it'd be cool. That's, as a fan of baseball, you want to see it. Obviously, as a fan of the Phillies, I'd rather play the Reds because I think they get a better chance of beating the Reds, honestly. But I think they'll be just fine. If they have to play the Dodgers, they can stack up with them. They can match up with them, and it'll be a really fun series to watch.
It'll be crazy, man. And I guess we'll find out by Wednesday or Thursday on who they'll end up facing. But just in the playoffs all around, there's so many fun matchups. You have the Yankees, Red Sox in the wild card. You have the Guardians and Tigers, which without the Mets, we'd be talking about the Tigers and their collapse. Somehow don't win the AL Central after having a 15.5 game lead on September 1st. Just ridiculous.
That's unbelievable.
Ridiculous collapse. And now Detroit has to go to Cleveland for that wild card series in a fun matchup. 2 divisional matchups on the AL side. And I know we've mentioned it before, but God forbid if the Phillies, and this is obviously down the road too, but now that the season's over and we kind of talk about it, if the Phillies somehow make the World Series, which team in the American League kind of scares you the most?
Interesting. I mean, I feel like they're all like so tightly packed in the American League. Like the Blue Jays obviously have been playing well, and they have bats that can obviously do a lot of damage. They have a pretty well-rounded roster. The Yankees and Red Sox are both super talented. We talked. I'm a big fan of the Mariners because I think the Mariners have great pitching, and they went out and got Eugenio Suarez to go along with Cal Raleigh and Rosarena and some other bats in that lineup. J.P. Crawford, we all know. They got guys that can hit. And Julio Rodriguez, obviously can't forget him. So I like the Mariners. The AL Central teams, obviously the Tigers have been in the tank. And far be it for me to count out my guy Stevie Kwan and the Guardians. But the Guardians and the Tigers don't really jump out at me as guys that I'd be concerned about if they get to the World Series, which I'd be shocked if either of those teams do. So to answer your question, the Mariners, I think, are a really good team. And any of those AL East teams, like those teams are really good. They beat up on each other all year. They're still all competing to the very last day of the season. So, but if the Phillies get to the World Series, I think they're going to have home field advantage. I think they'll be the favorite to play whoever they're going to play against. So I'll take their chances if they get to that point.
Red October's back, and so is the Rally for Red October bus tour. The bus will be making stops this Thursday, October 2nd, at the Comcast Plaza, City Hall, Pittman, New Jersey, and Haddon Township, New Jersey. If you're coming to the Comcast Center Plaza, we'll be having a live Q&A with Amy Fadul, John Clark, Ben Davis, Tom McCarthy, and me, Spencer McKercher. If you can't make it out, we'll be streaming the Q&A live online. Red October is presented by Toyota. The only thing that worries me is if the Phillies do make the World Series is just going through this gauntlet on the National League side and hopefully just getting to the World Series healthy and not really going through a full grinder. Because, I mean, if you say you play the Dodgers, then you're either going to have the Cubs, Padres, or Brewers to get through. Those are two tough matchups that you'll have to go through to get to the American League side. And I think I'm with you with the Mariners. I think is the favorite for me in the American League side. I mean, you mentioned that lineup is just from top to bottom. It is insane. Yeah. And it's fun too. We were talking about the debate a little bit with the Blue Jays. That starting rotation, I forgot they got Shane Bieber, who just made he just made his 3rd start of the season. Like that, you got Scherzer, Bieber, Gausman. Like, that starting rotation is pretty good for the Blue Jays, and it's going to be exciting to see that they'll have an American League East foe to worry about then whenever who wins that Red Sox Yankees series.
Phillies Blue Jays World Series would bring back a lot of bad memories for guys my age that were in 7th grade, 12 years old, watching that nightmare unfold. So I guess we could look a little payback maybe for that.
Yep. Yeah. I was not alive for that one, but
No.
but I know all too well about 1993.
Yeah, that team was the best. That was such a lovable team, and I really thought they were going to win it all. And obviously, we don't have to rehash the 1993 World Series. There was not just Game 6. There were some games at the Vet that oh my goodness, they lost 15-14 one game, and just crazy. Anyhow, sorry, I digress. We'll get them back. If we get a shot at them 32 years later, we'll have at it.
It would be something, man. It would be something. And it's funny. I was talking just real quick too. I was talking to my buddy Stu the other day. He was a Yankees fan, and he made a good point. Like, that Yankees Red Sox series is such a fun matchup, but it's a shame that doesn't go to Fenway Park too. It would have been almost cool to have an ALDS Yankees Red Sox matchup, because that just being in 3 games, well, 2, possibly 3 games in Yankee Stadium instead of going to Fenway with a classic Yankees Red Sox matchup. That's going to be exciting on the American League side as well. But we're here focused on the Phillies, and again, just a remarkable season for them. And they will now await the Reds or the Dodgers. Again, going to be so much fun. Give me real quick too, who you got in the Cubs Padres?
I'm gonna go Padres, believe it or not. Like, I know that series is at Wrigley, but I think the Padres are really good. Their lineup is obviously good. They got a couple nice starter pitch, and their bullpen, I think, is just excellent. Obviously, the deals they made to address their bullpen to add to what they already had. So I'm gonna go Padres, but I think it's gonna be a great series.
It's going to be fun too to see Wrigley Field in the playoffs again as well too, because I feel like, Fenway Park's the same way. You have Wrigley Field in October. It's always going to be a good time, and it's good to see the Cubs back in it. But yeah, I think I'm going to be with you. That Padres lineup is too good. That bullpen is amazing, and it's going to be a really fun series. And it's, again, a shame that it's only going to be the best 2 of 3. But here we are, with the wild card, and they'll be facing the Brewers.
Best of my knowledge, Phillies Cubs never in the postseason.
Wait, that was the trivia question the other day, wasn't it?
Never in the postseason. So how crazy would that be if that's the NLCS? That'd be pretty wild. Yeah.
Well, I forget who was the other team.
I think it was the Pirates.
The Pirates, that's what it was. So the Phillies have only not faced 2 teams in the National League in the playoffs, and it's the Pirates and Cubs. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, and I think, for years in divisional play, they were in the Pirates and the Cubs division, the NL East. So obviously they were never going to play each other then, because it was just you win your division and go to the NLCS. But the wild card's been around since '95 now, so it's like 30 years they've had the wild card format, and obviously now both those teams aren't even in their division anyhow. So in 30 years, not to play either one of them is kind of interesting. So yeah, but the Cubs Phillies could be a first time postseason matchup.
Well, that would be so much fun too, man. Going to Wrigley Field.
That
would be that'd be fun, and for a trip to go to the World Series as well. Now the moment, if you've been listening to the podcast over the last several months with me and Sean Kane here on the Phillies Talk podcast, we have been teasing something that the Phillies needed to be doing all season long, and it's just been a fun, you can call it a bet, I guess. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But basically, Sean, you can take it away, but 162 for 162.
Yes. So you probably, if you really watch the post-game show and you're really paying attention, Ricky likes to kind of mention it and like not explain it, which is very confusing to everybody. 3 hits. So big part of what we do is we watch every game, which is great, which is exciting. But like over the last handful of years, I like to make like a futures bet, a side bet. Like last year I had Wheeler to win the Cy Young, and that was cool to track, and I thought he should have won it. And 21, I think I had Harper winning the MVP, and he won it. So just to kind of make a bet to follow along the season. And I was, before opening day, a few years before opening day, I was looking on my phone and I saw a really cool bet that I thought would be fun to track. Didn't think it would hit, but something cool throughout the season, that the Phillies would have 3 or more hits in every regular season game. The odds were plus 650, so I threw like $15 on it to win like 115. And again, you mentioned opening day with Mackenzie Gore. He had like 13 strikeouts in the first 5 innings. They had 1 hit. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose this on day 1. This is going to be the worst bet ever. But sure enough, there's bound to be a game. Not that they're going to get no hit, but there's always that game where they have 2 hits. Or maybe 1 hit, but 2 hits is pretty common on occasion. Obviously, the last handful of years, they've had games like that. And they did it, man. They had 3 hits exactly today, which is a fitting way for the bet to end. And Max Kepler in the 8th inning had the 3rd hit. I thought I was going to lose it on 162. There's a couple close calls. I think they had 4 games, including today, where they had only 3 hits. The closest call was in L.A., last week when they won the first 2 games of the series, and then Snell shut them down in that 3rd game.
Oh yes,
and
Snell.
2 outs in the ninth inning, and Nick Castellanos comes up and flares one into shallow center field to keep hope alive. I thought that was it. 2 strikes, 2 outs. He's done. Nick, has been a rough second half for Nick, but he came through for me. So yeah, it was fun to track. The whole newsroom, a lot of the guys in the newsroom obviously knew about it, yourself included. So we were all kind of rooting and pulling for it. And Ben Davis is calling me today. He's not even in the office. I'm in the control room. He's going nuts. Guys are, messaging me throughout the newsroom. So it was fun. It was cool. Didn't think it would hit plus 650. Obviously, that's somewhat of a long shot, but it was cool. So yes, I have to have everybody will go out, grab a beer. The guys in the newsroom that were supporting me all year.
Exactly. We'll have to definitely spend some of that money on some brews after this season. But it's bet aside, the fact that the Phillies got 3 plus hits in every game, that just goes to show, like, it's kind of a wild side. They had 3 plus hits in every game. The only reason we know that is because of this insane bet, which it's been great. You mentioned it. It was your bet, but it's really turned into the whole office's bet because we went nuts when Nick Castellanos hit that. It's 2 out there down. It was like 8-1. They were getting crushed.
They lost that game 5-0 or something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And we're all huddling around the TV, everyone in the office. And you would have thought that the Phillies won the World Series because we just went ballistic for just Nick's 3rd hit of the game to keep the bet moving. And then, Max Kepler comes through on Sunday to tie the game with a solo home run, and it being the 3rd hit of the game. So that was, if you know, you know. And just a fun moment all season long. And I can't believe 3 hits in every single game is it's impressive. And they did it. They did it, man. What a fun little side thing that we had all season long. And it's been incredible, man. So
yes, it was.
We need some beers here at some point. No doubt. Sharing some winnings. Because like I said, I feel like we're a part of that. We're all part of the bet.
The support wouldn't have been able to do it without the support of the newsroom. No doubt.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, thanks for listening to the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. We will catch you guys after that series with the Reds and Dodgers, and we'll find out who the Phillies will face in the NLDS. Also, kind of fun, don't forget, I wanted to mention this, on Wednesday, you can go, I think there's 20,000 tickets already sold to this intra-squad game, which is incredible. All the proceeds, I believe it's $10, all the proceeds go to Phillies charity. So if you want to go see the Phils on Wednesday at CBP, they're having a little intra-squad game. There is a workout on Tuesday, so I believe they're off on Monday. They'll have a workout Tuesday, have the intra-squad game Wednesday, and then await whatever else they have planned before Saturday, game 1 of the NLDS between the Phillies and either the Reds or the Dodgers. I just can't believe we're here, man. And Red October is here officially, not even quickly approaching. It's finally here, and that place is going to be insane on October 4th. So on that note, we're going to land the plane again. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys next week.